Hey, welcome back to Too Long Didn't Care. I'm your host, Coy Mack, and today we have three top stories that are going to be imperative to all you. The first one being that Gabbard is suing Hillary Clinton for $150 million. I hope she doesn't commit suicide soon. As you know, back in 2019, Hillary Clinton went on to a podcast called Campaign HQ and suggested that the 2020 presidential candidate, Tulsi Gabbard, was the favorite of the Russians and a Russian asset. Now, obviously, people know that Gabbard is not a Russian asset. I know later on they kind of backtracked that and said that, oh, the Republicans were grooming her because she was going to switch parties or something like that. But that's kind of interesting because she's actually not running for office again coming this year. It's either, a president or bust kind of situation. But to say that Gabbard is a Russian asset and a traitor to the United States is a slap in the face of a lot of veterans. She has faithfully served the United States as an officer in the National Guard. And that's just like saying that Dan Crenshaw is a Russian agent and that losing his eye meant nothing. That's why nobody likes you, Hillary Clinton. Kind of like how you said Bernie Sanders. Nobody likes Bernie Sanders, but nobody likes you, Hillary Clinton. I'm just sad that we're going to lose Tulsi Gabbard to suicide or heart attack or car accident or whatever else happens usually around those times. But yeah, keep watching that. It's going to be fun to see how that goes on. So they are saying that rather than reliable facts or evidence, Clinton's basis of the defamation statements, one or both happened. It was her own imagination, extremely dubious conspiracy theories that any reasonable person, especially Clinton, a former United States Senator and Secretary of State, would know to be fanciful, wholeheartedly unverified, and inherently and objectively unreasonable. Can't deny that. Those are facts. Anyway, so the other story that's happening is the China virus, the new one, the Corona. It sounds like Corona, and it's terrible. The coronavirus. I want to drink now. Anyway, so China is urging travel advisory against going to Wuhan after it is topped killing 17 people. Now, the city has 8.9 million people and is told to avoid crowds and immersing in public and traffic, but that's going to be really hard because there's a billion people in China, so good luck with that. Now, the new virus has spread from these provinces in China to the US, Thailand, and South Korea. There are 444 confirmed cases as of this moment, and the origins apparently come from a seafood market that was conducting illegal transactions of wild animals. I really want to know what those illegal transactions was, like just somebody throwing fish at people and going, here, catch it, buy my stuff. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird for me. But yeah, so this is basically the breakdown. So we have the first 33 first cases show up in December, and now they've spread all the way to Seattle, I believe, in Washington. So keep an eye on that. And Justice Roberts admonishes both sides of the Senate in impeachment trial after a marathon session erupts into a shouting match, which all started because Jerry Nadler basically said that either you vote with us on this amendment or you're a traitor and that you're trying to do a cover-up. And basically, which was, it's a treacherous vote or it's a cover-up if Republicans don't go for the Bolton subpoena amendment. But that's not the only ones they had. They had 11 different amendments that they were trying to vote on. The first one being that they wanted articles of impeachment alleging abuse of power and obstruction of Congress to include national security records, conversations about Ukraine, and delaying military assistance. The second one being wanting Trump's communications with Ukraine, top department officials' communications with Ukraine, and so on. The third one being documents relating to the budget of the military aid, subpoena testimony for acting White House chief of staff, subpoena for all relevant Defense Department documents. Next one being subpoenas for testimony for Robert Blair, the president's assistant, Mick Mulvaney, Dolphy. That's a weird name, Dolphy. And then the seventh one being requiring that all new documents be admitted in the Senate trial has previously been subpoenaed by the Weiss and available for members of both parties to prevent a selective admission of evidence. Subpoena testimony for John Bolton, guarantee that any amendment subpoena addition to witness or documents would get a vote. written rules and so on. And then also 24 hours for both sides to respond to any motions that might be filed today. And the 11th Amendment being required that Robert rule on motions to subpoena witnesses and documents, which they were tabled at this moment. And here's my takeaway from this whole mess of thing is that this just makes them admit that they didn't do a good job when they had the chance in the House. Like, all of this stuff could have been done to begin with, but they didn't. They did a sloppy job, and now that they're in trial, they're asking for more time. That's exactly what it is. Like, I'm not a lawyer, right? But this is the kind of stuff that you do in discovery, correct? Like this, you subpoena people, you find out the documents, you line up your witness, and when you get the trial, you bring all those people forward. The people that you've already had testified, or at least gotten them on paper saying the things that you want them to say. So no, you can't have it both ways. You can't ask for more evidence when you already had chances to get the evidence you needed. And I hope Justice Roberts, God love him, because he's doing both this bullshit and still doing his J job in the Supreme Court. But anyway, that's your top stories for today. I'll see you guys next time.
According to your Facebook page, we aren't friends.